Hey guys, I'm Tim McGraw, and you're listening to Ethan's Day Off.
What is up, gangsters? Back at it again with another episode of Ethan's Day Off. Sorry about the delay, but listen, we got Big Mike here on the mic. All right, he is a worker over in Virginia, Shenandoah National Park. Met him about a month and a half ago. Great dude. We kept it high octane. I was strung up on caffeine for this, so you know it's going to be good. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and see y'all later. Hope you guys enjoy. It is the coming back episode of Ethan's Day Off. It has been a couple months, but I'm back and away from the incompetence, so let's just get that out of the way. No intros needed. We have Big Mike here in front of us today. Met this guy probably about a month and a half ago. Started working here in Shenandoah. Now, the thing is that he has been to a couple of places. He's been at Grand Canyon. He's at Shenandoah. He was at Zion. Went to Denver as well. Originally from Wilmington, North Carolina. So many different places. Now, got to ask you something, Big Mike.
Go for it.
Just to start off, what is the best park that you've been to thus far?
Zion National Park, hands down.
Zion.
It is where I met my girlfriend. It is where I found my spirituality. It is where I found myself as a man. Mm-hmm. All because of that park. Gotcha.
Yeah, and we'll get into that a little bit later, too, because I didn't want to talk about that. Listen, the social media account that I used for the research is like everything has been put on there. If the NSA wanted to find out whether or not you were a threat, they have everything within their ability, gigabytes worth of information to find out whether or not you are the next Unabomber or you are just a silly dude.
I would say Goofy Goober more than silly dude.
You would say Goofy Goober?
Yeah.
Okay, you wouldn't even revise my Unabomber okay.
No. We just have a beard. That's just the only...
That's the only similarity?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. No manifesto has been written on your behalf?
Not that I am aware of.
Big Mike manifesto does not exist.
I could have made something not sober in my past.
We'll leave it to that. Plead the fifth. So, a lot of stuff on the whole thing. First thing I want to talk about is a quote that you had said January 12th. All right, we're getting straight into it. All right, I got you on here. It's a congressional meetup. You have been subpoenaed. All right. I want to say how grateful I am to still be healthy and happy. I'm still broke, and I'm still with my parents. Who were you at that time, January 12th, about 7 months ago?
That was Mike 12 days after leaving Zion. Mm-hmm. I didn't save up any money at Zion. I more did the adventure side of life. I spent all my money on doing cool things and meeting cool people and became a canyoneer and whatnot. And then I kind of had to lose the job because our company lost the park. So I lost my gig. So I went home. And it sucks to have to live at home when you're almost 30 years old and not feel like you have a purpose or direction at the moment. And that post was me just trying to get out of the funk. That was the jump start to get my next job at Grand Canyon and to officially be with my current girlfriend and hopefully stays completely current. Mm-hmm. I don't like how I said that.
No, that's all good. That's all good.
My girlfriend at Grand Canyon. I chased her across the country and now we're here back on this side of the U.S. all because of a post like that back in January.
Yeah, so manifestation of just better things going on.
Yeah.
What was interesting about that is that I posted a blog post probably about a month ago. It was called the Misdefinition of Wealth. And back in January 12th, for me coincidentally too, I just got out of Tennessee, working there until November, went back home with my parents, and started to spend all of the money unnecessarily on things that I had made in Tennessee. And I was in the Great Smoky Mountains, for people that don't know. Back then with Under Canvas, which was a glamping company. You're in a tent in the inside, but it's a hotel, and then the outside is just pure nature. One of the greatest jobs I'd probably have worked. But I had worked there, went back home, and then I went broke. And it was early February where I turned down social events because I did not have enough money, and I instead had to go to the blood bank center to donate my own blood just so that I can have some basic necessities to take care of and work overnight at a gas station. So that was the first thing that really piqued my interest. And now it's like 6 months later, much different mic going on. Mm-hmm. What is the difference between that mic, broke mic, if I can say, and then current mic?
My support system, I guess. I've got Sunny with me at all times, and she's honestly my voice of reason at times, because I let my personality can get the best of me sometimes. I'm very impulsive, and she's like that little angel on my shoulder, and I'm the devil on my own shoulder. It's like, buy everything you can possibly see, eat all the snacks, do all the things that wastes your stuff away. And she'll be like, remember, we want a car. We want this. You have all these plans for yourself. Don't forget about them. And it's kind of reassuring to have a partner who sees my dreams and wants to realize just as much as hers. And I think that is probably the biggest part of it, of getting my feet back in the motivational water, I guess I would say.
Absolutely.
Because a year ago, I was my own motivator, and I pushed myself through some things that needed to get done, but I did it completely wrong, and now I'm injured because of said pushings and weight loss and what have you. That's other questions later on.
Mind you, this guy as well, Big Mike, is an interesting name. I'll get to why you're called that later. But dude is one of the most yoked people at Shenandoah National Park, if I may say. Tatted up to the wazoo, looking wonderful. Yeah, I just even noticed that he has like 3 or 4 different Pokemon on his arm that I at least can count. 2, okay, so that would be Pikachu and then Eevee that's on there. That's incredible.
Yeah, I've got a hodgepodge of ink, I would say. Some anime, some video games.
Yeah.
Stoner-esque things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, one of the most... But I was looking through, and this guy started at 320 pounds. Is that correct?
Yeah.
320 pounds. This would have been a year and a half ago today?
It was September of 2023. I was 320.
Okay. Who was, and now you are about 210, 250. You lost a significant amount.
I got all the way down to 200 pounds.
Right. And that's
in
the equivalent
6 months.
of 5 car tires worth of weight.
Jesus.
Right. Yeah. A wild amount.
I still don't even think about it, because like I look back at those photos and I don't recognize myself. It's a person I don't know anymore.
Right.
He officially had died. I don't know if you were going to ask about how that happened, but
yeah, I'd love to. What was the
like the turning point?
The turning, because I've lost 60 pounds going in, but then you did a whole other, and then it's no comparison, obviously, but the fact that you were able to accomplish that over a year span,
less than that.
Less than that is
It was
insane.
100 pounds in 5 months.
In 5 months. What was the turning point for you?
An overdose, actually, in fentanyl in my sperm donor's car, heading to my pointless job in the middle of Santan Valley, Arizona, where I bought an 8-ball from his drug dealer. And I was not at a good point in my life at all. Not like I was a drug addict. I was running from my problems for years now, and I went to some place that I thought would be safe, and this was just another drug haven. My father is what I would become if I keep heading down that road. Drug addict at 45 or 47 years old.
Right.
And I woke up. Back in the front seat of his car, and I was not dead. I almost died. And it felt like I was completely, like, new. But, like, I've been in the passenger seat for 3 years of my life that was just destruction and self-sabotage and drug use. And I made the choice right then and there that I needed to make a change in my life. Otherwise, I was going to die and leave everyone behind. And I guess it's more or less just from actually having my heart stop. To scare the living shit out of you, you gotta almost die and realize what I've been doing this whole time is wrong, and it's nothing but hurting me and my family and other people, burning bridges, and just not living a life worth living. And I decided to man up get a job, get my shit together, stop being a homeless couch surfing bum, and a year later, I was a completely different man.
Mm-hmm. Josh Peck, from his biography, from Drake and Josh, he had discussed his cocaine addiction as well. He had lost a similar amount of weight when he was bigger, and he shrunk down to 190 pounds. But one of the things he talked about is after his weight loss, he had done a lot of cocaine. He had done a lot of drugs afterwards. And one of the biggest things I remember from that book that just came to my mind is that he describes cocaine as something that when he first tried it, snorted it, didn't feel much, but then afterwards in social situations, it felt like the static of your like radio inside of your mind just tuned in to the exact like right frequency, even if you weren't someone that was sociable or was like introverted, and just kind of put out all these traits of extroversion and like a social life, even when you haven't delved into your insecurities or into the things that you kind of push aside in life. Would that be a good description of what cocaine does? How would you describe it?
No, I definitely agree with that description. Mine was, it made me into that guy that could sell water to a speedboat. I could talk to anybody, at least in my mind, that's how it was. I do a bump and I'm like, I feel amazing. But I never wanted it to end. It doesn't happen with everybody who does cocaine, and cocaine is a hell of a drug for a reason, but it makes you feel like you're on top of the world. Your worries go away. You're self-medicating. That's all it really is medication without a prescription. And if you don't limit yourself, you think the sky's the limit, but it's really just eating you away little by little. But it actually did the opposite effect for me. He lost a bunch of weight. I got to 320. I've been 200 pounds since high school. And I was probably 26 years old, 27 years old. I met my ex-fiance, and that's when I started doing drugs. And I inflated with depression and weight, and drug use continued to skyrocket. So I had the complete opposite effect, but it still makes you think you're all this badass MFer type of person who can talk to anyone and get anything done. In reality, it's the complete opposite.
It was a figurative ayahuasca moment that you had in a sense, when your heart had stopped and you were in the back seat of the car, figuratively and literally.
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking at myself from the back seat and I'm just like, oh my god.
From the top down, just
it all angles. It doesn't feel like you were looking at you. It feels like that's
you were in the vestibule of life and death.
There, because I wasn't dead, but I wasn't alive. And it's that in-between moment. It could have been seconds, but it felt like hours.
Right.
That it made me make that decision. And I know I'm getting slightly off topic, but staying on it at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
It just pulled me so far away that I could get away from myself, my own ego, and look at what was wrong. And that drug completely has a way of helping me in that situation as well as it was hurting me, because it made me separate from myself enough to see what it was doing to me. So I'm kind of grateful for the overdose.
How long were you doing it up to that point?
2 years straight.
2 years.
Yeah.
So
daily.
What would your day look like in terms of like previous Mike for those 2 years? What would an average day be in this scenario?
In the early days, I was working on the bar scene in Denver. Really cool bars. I was a bouncer during COVID. Our bar didn't make you wear a mask coming into our bar, while everyone else did. Like, you take a sip, you put your mask back on. On ours was just taking fines out the ass from the city and just letting people overflow the bar, people without masks, and that just meant there was a lot of drugs and alcohol as well. And I got introduced to it one night, and then that was the end of it. You get sucked into this nightlife type of thing, this bartender, bouncer, security life of just drugs, partying, and after parties until the sun comes up. Then you sleep all day and redo it again. do your shift, and then you're going to an after party after with all the bar people.
What do you think that type of atmosphere had done in terms of, like, why did you continue to do something like that? What did it fulfill, in a sense, within your soul?
It gave me attention that I've always wanted. I grew up pretty sheltered, not in the way of like I wasn't social or anything. I mean, I forced myself to learn how to have friends, but I wasn't popular in any sense growing up. Mm-hmm. In any way. I was kind of made fun of most of my life. If it wasn't picking on odd things about my body that I didn't grow into until adulthood or whatever, my ears or a high voice or whatnot when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. It was just bullying after bullying and trauma after trauma until senior year of high school. And then I craved friends. I craved attention. No one ever actually cared. So coke and the nightlife and the bars and alcohol, you got women, you got drugs, you got fake friends who are there to do the drugs with you, but they make you feel like they're your best friend.
Right.
And so I was filling a void inside of me with all the wrong things because it might have been temporary, but it was the best thing I've ever had up until that moment. Mm-hmm. I never had the real friends. I never had the social circle that I can call on and have hard conversations with and have an emotional support system. I never had any of that. I just had trauma up to this point, and this was all I knew. I didn't know better.
It felt like, in a sense, liberation from the mold that you were previously in.
Yeah, and I was popular. That's what made me so love it so much. I was just like, oh, people like me now. Mm-hmm. I can do something with people, and they're like, wow, you're funny, or yeah, you're great. And I finally, like, women started liking me, so I just started to become a hoe. I was like sleeping with girls left and right, and with cocaine, that's pretty easy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sadly.
Yeah. In terms of that note, like with like women and everything like that, because it's multiple different things that you could distract yourself with. It could be money, it could be drugs, it could be weed, it could be women, it could be all of these sorts of things. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that when some of my friends, acquaintances went to college, and there were those times where it's like, I don't fit in. There were times where there would be one-night stands, and it would be half a dozen of them, and it just creates this void further. It feels like your heart, in a sense, is not being built up, but instead it's just being drilled in, and you're trying to find someone to fill that space. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you were in Zion, you made a video December 5th. You said that moving to Zion was the best decision of your entire life. You felt like you'd forgiven, you'd felt like you'd let go of everything, and that you were healing. Mm-hmm. That phase of your life, when you were still at Zion and you were still working there, what was that Mike like? What was going through his head?
I was Big Mike there. I was everyone's big bro. I was smiling every day, laughing, whether I felt good or bad or what have you. Mm-hmm. I had a community. From day one, I met so many lovely people there. That park life has nothing compared to where we're at right now. Yeah. It was a different world. It was like I got separated from the current world. It's its own little town inside one of the most beautiful national parks with some of the most spiritual energy you will ever feel, because it's one of the most holy places on earth, especially in the United States at least.
The views are incredible.
And yeah, waking up inside a canyon for 6 months straight, it's phenomenal. And I got my dream body there. I finally got a six-pack for the first time in my life, like real muscles, not just like shadows and lighting. But it was just... And then I had women chasing me. And like, I know that sounds shallow, but as a guy who's been weird and widely unpopular for most of your life, and then lose your ex-fiance due to your own decisions and lose all the friends you all had, I never thought I'd get a second chance.
Mm-hmm. You felt like that was the only time.
Relationships, women, friendships, any relationships in general, I didn't think I'd ever get them again. And this place completely flipped that 180 on me, and I was like, nope, you get a second shot because you're actually focusing on loving yourself for once.
Exactly.
And I focused on me. I might have not did everything correctly because I only ended up physically injuring my body some more, but like I learned to love myself again, for real, like for the first time in my life. And I gained a lot of emotional intelligence that I wouldn't have had otherwise if I did not go to Zion. That place is very healing. Whether it be the people, whether it be the solo hikes where you're just out there with the beauty and the nature, or just the conversations that you are forced to have with yourself when you have hard conversations with people. I just learned a lot in a very short amount of time, and it was all due to making that hard decision to leave my jobless life in Colorado and just stop hating myself and just take a chance at something new. And leaving my old life behind, and it was the best decision I have ever made in my entire life.
It was a
Still
real
is.
thing that you were trying to get with the drugs while you were in Denver, with that real life sort of feeling. You got it synthetically at first, but instead now you're in Zion, now you're doing all these things, and you're actually improving on the things that take work, but bring you the legitimate home-cooked meal of improvement and fulfillment instead of what the fast food version was back in Denver, essentially.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it. It was also just, I stopped running from my darknesses, my demons, and instead I sat down and listened to them for once. Why have they been always saying these awful things about me inside my head? Why is it always telling me to self-sabotage or do these things, or they don't like you, or just the voices in your head that always make you upset? And I sat with them, and I talked to them, and I listened to them, and I cried, and I just accepted everything. And also, I learned to be there for the little kid who was traumatized in me that I never healed.
What did you say to your younger self? What would you say now?
We survived. Look how far we got. I kind of see it as like the man I am now is who the little kid, me, wanted to be around to comfort them when they were going through shit. Like, I would give him the biggest hug. I would make sure he knows it's okay to be different. Different is beautiful. Just because you're different doesn't mean you're awful and you're broken. I'm not broken. I'm just not the same.
Yeah.
And not being the same is perfectly fine. Because if everyone was the same, this world would be a very boring place.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that through years and years of trial and error. But Zion was the place where everything clicked for me. Mentally, physically, and especially emotionally. I have a bad way of explaining things, but it all comes back to that place. It's where I found myself for real, where I started having the hard talks with real people and internally. And that can branch out into all aspects of your life if you keep working on yourself. No one's perfect. No one is ever perfect. But if you don't strive for perfection, you just strive to live life and to love life. That's all you really need. Everything else will be given to you by the universe or whatever your higher power be. Things fall in place when you stop worrying and do the right things. And I stopped lying. That was a huge thing. I slightly have a still issue with like white lies, like making jokes, but
Yeah.
I am the most honest I've ever been in my life, and it's completely changed because now I have nothing to hide. So
I feel on a lighter note, if you just told your younger self that you had a kick-ass beard and some awesome tattoos, I feel like that would also...
No, that's a huge part of it. I just didn't want to sound too shallow.
Dude, you're gonna be yoked in 20 years. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
Oh, dude, I was such a small guy too. I was so
I
scrawny.
I saw your first Instagram photo the ones that you didn't delete from high school. God forbid I saw those. And you were looking over like a city skyline, and it looked like a really like 2011 My Chemical Romance inspired like black and white
that was
look.
Charlotte.
You've gone through so many evolutions. You looked like so many different people. The first photo of you, honestly, just looks like an alternative reality of like K-Fed or something like that. It is insane. You know who he is?
K-Fed? I do
Kevin
not.
Federline. Oh, it's one of Britney Spears' like husbands.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I kind of consider myself a hodgepodge of a person at this point, just because seriously, Zion
Yeah.
You're bringing this point up as perfect. Zion, every like 2 weeks, I'd either dye my hair or get a haircut or shave in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt, my coworkers always like, what the fuck? Why do you always look so different, dude? It's like I'm a transformer in human mode, I guess. I don't know. I've always... But I see what people tell me now. They're like, you don't look like that person you were 10 years ago. I don't look like the person I was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Every year I change. I kind of morph. I don't understand it. But that is a common thing I am told by multiple people. So you're not alone in telling me this.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's a very interesting. Like you probably 2017 look closer to what you look like now compared to 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And I'm just like, what the hell is this timeline? Is he reposting things just jumbled just to mess with us? It's crazy. It's wild. Yeah, the blonde white hair that you had as well. What made you think, oh, I'm going to go back to my original like hair color?
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
Back to normal? I started losing my hair. Bleach destroys your scalp.
Yeah.
And I bleached it for the last time last summer, and it's just, if I want to have a hairline and keep this beautiful hair that I've gotten back, because I was halfway bald 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I've regrown like 3 inches of my hairline.
You've gained 20. You've gained like 20 years younger too, probably from doing that.
So I don't have to wear a buzz cut anymore. It's pretty wonderful. But yeah, that's the biggest reason I don't dye it anymore. But like, I did have my blonde era for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And it was mostly just to piss off my mother, which shows I had a lot of trauma I should have dealt with early on.
Why did you get your ears pierced young as a kid?
Probably because of bullying. There used to be a thing like what the left ear was, if as a single straight guy you could have your left ear pierced, but if you had both of them or just your right ear, you were gay. And people, and there's nothing wrong with being gay, by the way. I'm gonna add that right now. It's also, this was 20 something years ago when that wasn't widely accepted. It was a different world, and I was a child. I was getting bullied, and they kept telling me I was gay, and I got that earring trying to look cool, and I don't know. The hole never closed. So like every few years I'll wear earrings. Every few years I don't. It's also my mom worked at Eclairs, so it was really easy to get my ear pierced. Just
through the back and just like, shh, don't say anything.
No,
you're all good to go.
Yeah, I wish it was that simple. No, like she paid for it. But, but she, like her coworker did it, and then I had my ear pierced most of my life.
There you go.
My sister got hers done at like 1 year old.
I could not imagine doing that. There's a couple things in my life that I don't understand, and one of them is drinking, obviously, but the other one is as well. What are you laughing for?
That's why you wouldn't drink with me last night.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so look, we were hanging out yesterday because some folks are going to be leaving here tomorrow as of the recording of this day. This is July 20th, and they were all drinking, chilling out. I don't even know what you had, but you had a bottle of wine. And you were throwing the wine cork at me like I was a pinata. And you wanted to see if I was going to let out some candy.
No such thing.
You did it twice. What are you talking about?
I was looking at the stars. And something fell.
Look, this guy. Okay, this guy threw it at me. He threw it at me. Okay, he threw it at me. He may not admit it like OJ, but he did. And then he looked up at the sky, just like, huh. What's up there? There's nothing up there. There was nothing up there. There was one very lonely tree he was looking at, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
I was actually just zoning out. I wasn't actually looking at it.
That is so not
I was already
true.
Pretty drunk.
That is partially true, but not excusable for the terrible cover-up job that you did. Oh my goodness. You got a deep voice.
Oh, do you want me to use that voice?
I want you to come up to the mic here real quick, and I want you to do the intro for this podcast.
What is the intro?
I'm Tim McGraw, and you're listening to Ethan's Day Off.
Hey guys, I'm Tim McGraw, and you're listening to Ethan's Day Off.
Perfect. I don't think we have to talk about anything else. Dude would just do karaoke on that feed. I got so much stuff from this. This guy was not obscure whatsoever in his daily life on Instagram. Like, you used Instagram properly for all of this. It didn't take me that long to realize why he is the way he is and all the other depth that he has to him. It's incredible. Let's go through like just a speed round real quick of some things, and I want you to tell me what they are, what they mean to you, that sort of thing. That
Understood.
good with you? Who is Ryan Caraveo?
Ryan Caraveo is the musician who stopped me from killing myself. To be blatant, I discovered him while having a gun to my head. His song came on and made me pull it off my head while I still pulled the trigger. And I am here today, and I solely believe it was because I heard his song.
Which one was that?
It was called Peanut Butter Waffles. It's about finding balance when you don't have any. Or more or less relating to someone who has a hard time finding balance in their life, in their emotions, and in their mental state. Being bipolar or any type of mental illness in general. And it broke me down enough to pull the gun off my head. And I've met the man. I've told him this story, and he is wonderful. He listened to everything I said, and he sang that song to me on stage when I saw him in concert.
That's crazy.
So that man, he also just lost his house in the California fires that hit L.A. So I don't know if he's going to be playing music anytime soon, but he is an amazing artist. I highly recommend him. He has quite a few albums out. It'll change your life.
100%. Dakota.
Dakota, that's my cousin. He's a horse. He's been my cousin for 17 years, I think my aunt has had him. I got to visit him when I was home in January, which was also like the best trip I've had home yet. But yeah, he is a giant-ass horse who is my cousin. His name is Dakota, and the other horse is Maya, his sister. By adoption, of course, because it's a horse.
It's interesting you say cousin. I really don't want to know how that ancestry whole situation
My aunt
started.
Is her parent. What do you mean? His parent.
Let's move on.
Fine.
Princess Pierogi.
Princess Oh, my old cat. Yeah. That was my cat I had last year. Me and my friend adopted 2 kittens from a neighbor. We were roommates. He got the one that had mange, and I got the pretty Siamese one. And I named her Princess Pierogi.
Why was that?
Pierogi's my favorite food, and Princess was the nickname for the girl I was talking to at the time, and that's what she kept calling my cat. So I named her that, and she currently has my cat, and has ghosted me since then, which doesn't matter. I'm happily in love. But that was my cat who got stolen by a very pretty girl who cut me out of her life.
Well,
when I went to Zion.
Hopefully, as long as Princess Pierogi's good.
Oh, she's getting loved, but like
that's good.
That girl is a lot, so good for her. I'm glad she has the emotional support that she needs from that cat.
Thank God cats cannot understand complex human language, if I can say
so
myself.
Gosh, that cat would leave immediately.
Yeah, that's last one here. Menzies Aviation.
Menzies? Oh, dude. Oh, I used to do drugs at the airport. I was a ramp agent for Frontier at Menzies Aviation, which they're just like, think of how like we work for Delaware North, but MPS is technically our boss, like that. Like,
yeah,
it's a concessionaire that is hired on by Frontier to control like their ramp agents and their planes and all that stuff. But it was probably one of the coolest jobs I ever had. I got to sit in the bottom of planes at DIA, Denver International Airport.
I love that airport.
I drove the poop truck.
What?
So I drained the planes of shit.
All right, this isn't a speed round anymore. I need to know about this. All right, poop trucks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be in the synopsis of the podcast at the beginning. We're going to talk about this.
Job I ever had.
He's
as
leaning
a
in for
person
this.
who was a smoker. I had so many smoke breaks. I used to smoke 2 packs a day. I quit in September. Thank God, 4 years of 2 packs a day was terrible for me.
Yeah.
But as a smoker back then, all you wanted was a freaking smoke break. But there's no smoking areas at the airport.
Right.
Unless you had a vehicle on the tarmac. So
it's like the demilitarized zone of smoke
yeah,
breaks.
you can drive to the smoking area.
Yeah.
So I got to drive a truck full of poop all over the tarmac at DIA.
How big are we talking? How big? Like, if we were to talk about like wheelbarrows,
the back
right
of a box truck cut in half, like height-wise. So, like, it's
Okay.
still as long as a normal box
So
truck.
like a really small, minimalist, like
flat-faced
moving truck,
truck.
like U-Haul style.
Yeah, but the cabin was like a flat-faced truck, and then the whole back was like a platform.
Yeah.
Probably about 3 feet tall.
Okay.
Made of metal.
Okay.
Full of empty space to put the poop from planes in, and then the purple water to put into the plane
Okay.
for the toilet. So
Gotcha.
think of it like a porta potty truck for planes.
Okay.
And I got to wear like a butcher's mask, like the you put it on your head, pull the mask down, and it's plastic. That, a big apron, and gloves. I didn't really wear the gloves. I wore like mechanic gloves because I was lazy and I was
Right.
good at it, so I didn't get poop on me. But I did hear one time the guy who had the job before me, you go up into the plane and you got to twist quick enough before the pump shoots it all out, and he didn't have it locked,
Oh Jesus.
and he took a poop shower. But no, it sounds like a really gross job. It did have its perks. I had every smoke break. I made my schedule, and I just hid all day long in that truck watching Netflix.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I quit that job before they fired me.
Gotcha. So you said you did drugs in the airport.
Oh yeah, I definitely did cocaine at the airport quite a few times because you don't get in the airport the same way as the passengers do. You go through
Right.
you hop on a bus in a parking lot 10 miles from the airport and they just bust you in. You walk through a metal detector. That's it. Nothing else. You scan your ID. So I would do bumps throughout the day. It was not good. I was on probation too, I still think. So yeah.
You want to delve into that?
I was put on probation for the suicide attempt that Ryan Caraveo saved me from. Since the gun still went off, I got charged with unlawful discharge of a firearm and disturbing the peace. And I was on probation for a year to get it expunged,
Right.
off my record. If I do probation for a year, pretty sure I was still doing drugs on and off in between my drug tests. I was not healthy for that in any sense. But yeah, I was on probation when I was working at the airport.
Gotcha. And obviously we don't condone that because it's federal land, it's federal property.
Yeah, no.
I don't condone it on the show.
This is my past
But-
for a reason. I'm a better man now.
Yeah, the thing I'd like to hear about these things, even if it's not the most sanitary thing, like even if employers listen to this, right? This is life. I mean, this isn't a DARE program. This is people that actually have to go through some actual hardship, and like those things are better to listen to rather than just some people telling you not to do drugs because
Yeah.
it's going to want to make you do drugs. So hearing stuff like this, like I've heard other people that are online that have gone through, had the cocaine binges and have taken so many other drugs, talk about it comprehensively. It's an incredible thing that the internet has done in bringing these sort of stories because it's way more effective.
I like to be open about it because...
Just one second.
Yeah, it's a very loud vehicle. There
There we go. Okay. I was getting scared there. You said you like to be open about it?
Yeah, it's just because, dude, people who could be living their day-to-day life, you would know they could be a drug addict right then. I was functional. I wasn't just you couldn't really tell I was on it most of the times. I would wear sunglasses. I was a functional coke addict.
Yeah.
I still did my job. I still did things towards the end of my drug addiction. Yeah, I was homeless and job to job, paycheck to paycheck kind of stuff just because it was that bad at that point. But for years, I did it with no issue. I ran a restaurant back in 2019, still doing cocaine and all that kind of stuff. And it was the norm. It was party life, nightlife.
Yeah.
But-
And those are on the same timeline that you were doing bar related stuff in Denver. Would that be right?
Yeah, it all started after I got broke up with my college girlfriend. Started going out to the bars after work, and then you get introduced into that life, and then I started working at the bars, and it was like a domino effect.
Right.
But I've met plenty of people who I bought and did cocaine with from all walks of life, like rich CEOs and people driving $500,000 BMWs that let me drive their cars, trust fund kids, and all this shit. meet people from all walks of life just in the drug world.
Mm-hmm.
And yet on the street you'd be like, oh, that's just a normal dad in a minivan with his kids. And it was like, that dad just bought an 8-ball.
Yeah.
With the minivan having kids in the backseat. Like,
and we're
it's that
talking
kind of
CEOs,
stuff.
chief executive officers of recognizable companies by the public.
Oh, I mean, I don't remember personally which companies they were, but
That's probably a good idea.
A few. Yeah,
That's probably
and I'm
a
not
good
going to
idea.
rat them out either because, money can kill.
Right.
But, no, like, I've met so many walks of life. Like, I have friends. I may or may not have friends who are drug dealers to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that their business is their business, and I had to separate myself from it, and they understood completely. They actually supported me getting my addiction taken care of.
That's a silver
even though
lining.
they sell currently to this day.
Right.
It's just like, they're still good people, but like, drugs are in the world whether you want them or not.
Mm-hmm.
So why not talk about it so you can avoid all the bad shit? Hear it from people who've been through it. Like, I regret the drugs I did. I don't regret the times I had.
What would you say? Well, what's the list that you would like to share? Like, what are the things that you have tried at least once?
Oh, like drug wise?
Yes.
I've done meth at my job at a 7-Eleven off the counter because I wanted cocaine so bad. My coworkers were like, you can try this, and put me a line of something shiny, and I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it was meth, and I did it for like a few weeks after that, so that sucked. I did cocaine, I've done Molly, I've done acid, I've done mushrooms, I've smoked weed, but I do not consider this a drug. It's medicine, if you use it correctly. Everything in moderation. I mean, not everything. But like
30 seconds ago, he said
fine.
he just did meth, and he's like, everything in moderation.
Not everything. I mean, like, weed is fine, but like, if you're just getting stoned all the time and it's not even helping you, it's not worth it.
Right.
Like, I used it to control my mental health, not because I just wanted to get stoned all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It made me normal. It made me help me function. That's what I like to see use. And then, recreationally, you can do that kind of stuff. But I think that's the list.
That's a list.
Alcohol, of course. I mean, I worked at bars, but like, I don't like to drink that much. I mean, like, I threw up last night after you saw me.
Yeah,
After one bottle of wine, I'm the lightweight.
He looked a little rough. He needed his caffeine to kind of just get himself back up on his feet.
Oh, dude, this morning, my eyes were barely open. I wanted to fight the people in line in front of me to get them out of my way. I just wanted my coffee.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I don't think I've tried anything else. Yeah, like, I've never done pills or anything like that. Those scare the shit out of me.
There's so many
like
more
Xanax
presses and
all
everything
that
like
stuff.
that. Yeah.
Never. I've never touched any of that. And then I guess I've accidentally done fentanyl and heroin before, mixed in with a bad batch of cocaine. My uncle drug tested me once, and he found all these things in my system.
Ooh.
Yeah, methamphetamines, the cocaine. There was some heroin in it, and I was just like, oh, so people. That's what cutting means, by the way, and lacing. I've done laced cocaine before.
And because it's not pure, so they make it cheaper by adding other stuff to it.
Yes, but you are never going to do pure cocaine. That would kill you. I'm sorry. The pure is not the thing that I've seen out there. Maybe like 93%, but...
Well, it depends on what it's cut
100%,
with.
yeah, like if it's
Like,
like
choose your...
vitamin B12 is what most dealers will use. And it's because it's not something that's really harmful, but it has the same consistency when you crush it up.
Right.
And then they would use baby laxatives, and then some people would just use other drugs.
Baby laxatives.
Yeah, like you do your first bump, and then you'd have to run to the bathroom, take a quick shit, and then continue partying for the rest of the day.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I guess that's not the worst.
Kinda, because like you don't know when the poop comes. It can come after the first bump, but it could be like
relative to everything else that could be
and you
in
just
there.
Sharded, like it's wild. Dude.
Jesus. Okay.
That's why you gotta trust your dealers.
Trust your gut before you trust. Yeah. Get a reagent kit. I don't care. That's all I gotta say. Big Mike.
Yes.
What is one piece of advice that you give to everybody listening right now?
Oh gosh, dude, you really put me on the spot with this one. Give yourself a break. You're doing your best, or at least you're trying to. Just learn to take a breath of some fresh air and try again. Don't give up. I'm not saying, like, oh, go shoot that person or do that drug. Not like that, don't give up. I mean, like, don't give up on yourself. There's always another chance. Even if you can't see it, it's there. I promise. And I love y'all. So just know someone out there loves you.
Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time on the next episode of Ethan's Day Off. Take care, y'all.